Hi there, welcome back in the studio. This video is brought to you by Gospel Beats and gospelbeats.com. This is episode 4 of the Compression Made Easy series. We're going to take a look at vocals today. And we're working again on the Gospel Beats session we used for the EQ tutorial. If you haven't seen that, go check it out on the channel because you find a lot of useful stuff in there. Getting back to the subject here, we have our compressor, the onboard compressor from Cubase, and we're going to work a little bit on the vocals. Now, let's first listen to what we have here in the session. Let's just play it with the compressor disengaged.
Let's do it again. Let's go. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh is the way of the world. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh all leads to death.
Okay, the sound is fine here, but I feel like I want some more vocals, some more vocal presence, okay? You can either just raise the volume, but that's not a very clever thing to do because you're actually put something too loud in the song. We just want to optimize the volume. So the thing you should do here is to do some more of a tech-savvy operation, okay? And use a compressor. Okay, now my usual setup when I'm working on vocals is to have a kind of a slow attack here. We don't want to go all the way down. So I go at least at 20 most of the time. Unless I have some specific issues in the vocals, but they are quite rare, okay, at least in my general operation. I go from 20 to 25, even 30 sometimes. So I'm leaving most of the attack of the vocals untouched. Okay, this is to preserve their character. You don't want to squeeze too much out of the vocals. So we're just evening out the signal. Let me just demonstrate what I did. I'll first start with the compressor disengaged, then I'll engage it as I go.
The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh is the way of the world. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh all leads to death. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh is the way of the world. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh all leads to death.
Okay, now this change is much more evident than the ones that we did on the kick drum, and especially the one we did on the snare drum. They were more of a subtle operation. Now you can clearly understand what's going on. We're actually raising the main volume by using the compressor. We're optimizing the presence of the vocals. Now the vocals are a key part of the mix. You want to have just the right amount of them because you want them to sit in the mix. Okay, with this disengaged,
The way of the world. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh.
the vocal is sitting almost fine, I would say, but with this engaged, this is much better.
All leads to death. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh is the way of the world. The way of the world is the way of the flesh. The way of the flesh all leads to death.
So now you have a tight group for the vocals. Okay, this is a hip-hop song, so the vocal is a rhythmic instrument itself. Okay, it's not only delivering the lyrics, it's also playing the rhythm part, so to speak. So you want to enhance that aspect as well. So that's what I did. So my go-to setup for vocals is to go reasonably easy on the ratio. Okay, I don't go like this. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, I go with a reasonable setup. So I go anywhere usually from 2 to 3, 3.5. Okay, for this kind of music, of course. I wouldn't do that for classical music performance or jazz music performance or any kind of acoustic-like genre. For hip hop, especially, this is a very cool setup because, as I mentioned before, you want the vocals to deliver a rhythmic drive as well. So you want to optimize the tone, you want to optimize the loudness and make them sound full, just right in the center of the mix. So that's what we did, especially if you have a pre-mixed vocal like this. This is a very, very useful setup because most of the time you don't have that, super pro session. Most of the time you're just mixing with a pre-made vocal. So, okay, this is including all of the different part of the song. Okay, and this is a setup you use most of the time when you're just starting out. Okay, so here we want to share knowledge that can be really beneficial to beginners. So this is a real life situation. As always, here at Gospel Beats, we're delivering the real deal, things you can use in your everyday life and mixing. Okay, so it's super simple. Slow attack, reasonable ratio, anywhere from 2 to 3, even up to 4 sometimes. threshold depending on your signal, of course, and a quick release. Okay, this is a quicker parameter or a quicker value than I would normally use, but here, as you can easily tell, if I solo the vocals,
way of the flesh, the way of the flesh, all leads to death. The way of the world is the way of the flesh.
there was already a delay pre-mixed in the track. So I have a long tail already, and I didn't want to emphasize the tail too much, okay, because we're bringing that up front. As we mentioned in the other lessons, you're highlighting the best part of your track, but you're also bringing up front the stuff that shouldn't be right in your face. So the very bottom of the tail of the reverb. Okay, it's cool to have some of it. You don't want to have it too much in front of the mix. So this is what we can do in a pre-mix track to tame a little bit of the tail without having too much of it. That's about it for the vocal treatment. Okay, if you're just starting out, start from a simple setup. Grab a vocal like this. Doesn't necessarily have to be a premixed one. This information work also on unmixed vocals. Okay, you can just start by EQing, of course, always EQ first, and then feed your channel into a compressor here to even out the performance, to optimize the rhythmic drive on your vocals, and you're good to go. Experiment with any kind of vocals, really. If you're a beat maker, if you're a hip-hop guy, you're gonna benefit a lot from this because you're doing a lot just by applying a simple treatment. But of course, do your homework as far as EQing is concerned. Okay, so work on that first and then optimize, as we said multiple times in the course, what you have. Compression is not the solution for all of your problems. It's a thing you can do to optimize the stuff that you've done in the mix. So guys, that's it for the vocal part. I'll see you guys in the next lesson where we're gonna see a pretty cool trick on group or bass compression. Thank you very much for having me. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. See you later, guys.